the big news, a story brought by Gary Carter. Fair play, he's had a scoop here, hasn't
It's an exclusive.
Shaun Wane will be the New England coach. He is the New England coach.
With glasses.
Yeah.
And a quite
Sounds
severe
like me,
haircut.
No, I think his haircut's better now. I think he's going
but
more...
he's gone to Rugby Union.
He had it all
and
shaved
come
off
back looking
before.
intelligent.
Has he lost his
What are you
accent
saying,
as
he
well?
didn't look intelligent before?
He looks very suave, didn't he? He looked very suave.
Hold on.
Older.
You've had a pop at me, now you're having a pop at Shaun Wane.
Well, that's before the Leeds in crisis starts. Get your retaliation in first.
Yeah,
They've
I
already,
like it. I
they've
like
already
it.
started on Facebook, by the way. It's all there. Hashtag Leeds in crisis. Leeds in crisis. As we
Oh,
always point out,
it's
this
I was getting
Yeah,
tweets
yeah.
yesterday. I'm on National Radio, I'm getting tweets. Is Leeds in crisis on tomorrow?
Do you think he needs any more fuel for the fire? Give it a break.
Leeds
Who?
men in
You?
crisis.
No, come on, I like Leeds. I like Leeds. I
You
do.
like the commentary position.
I like watching the women play. I'm a proud member. I spoke to my teammates yesterday. I might be making a comeback
Excellent.
in the
If
PDRL.
only we knew when the fixtures were.
Well, that's what I said when we were playing. They went, we don't know. So that's a bit of a blow. But I have put my name down.
Good.
I think I got blackballed last season. I think I'm being blackballed.
Because
again.
you were selling t-shirts saying Leeds in crisis.
No, you were selling them. Don't blame me. Anyway, Shaun Wane is the New England coach. What do you make of it?
I'm excited by that. I'm very excited. I think it's the... I don't know if it's a traditional thing that is homegrown, isn't it? It's an England kind of from the core now. He knows the structure, he knows the DNA, he's done well, he's got a good record. And I think he's going to, as long as he doesn't make any silly, crazy decisions with his selection.
Well, you're a player. Oh, you're a player, Super League player. What did you make of the GB tour?
It wasn't the greatest, was it? It was the selection, and I said this before with the women's as well. It's about selection, and you don't know what coaches are thinking, do you? Because you just think you see players, and you think, why are you not playing the best person for that position in that position? Why are you moving it around? Why are you switching it up? Why are you putting pressure on a player to play out of position? Because I don't think that's fair either, and that's where I think it fundamentally went wrong. But again, I'm not a coach. That's just my opinion, and putting.
Yeah, but you're a player, and the players will be like that, won't they? And, you know, like you said, you can't criticise Blake Austin for playing on the wing. He's
No,
going to
exactly.
play
I
wherever
don't
he
think
has to play.
So it's like the women. So in the second match against Papua New Guinea when they lost, the fullback got put to half. The best half in the league was on the bench, or wasn't even on the bench. The replacement fullback went into centre. Caitlin, who's a winger internationally, went into fullback. Then you had second rows at prop. It was just ridiculous. And the girls have never played in that position, so therefore it showed.
Yeah.
And that's not their fault. You're not going to turn a shirt down by saying, well, that's not my shirt position, sorry. You just take it, you play because you get the chance to wear that shirt. And you trust a coach, which didn't make the right choice.
The feeling is, Phil, for me, that half an hour before England take on Australia, where is the first test? Is it at Bolton?
Bolton.
The paint will be coming off the dressing room wall. They'll be ready to rip in, and they will get ripped in under Shaun Wane. He's the right choice, isn't
I think Wayne Bennett's position became increasingly untenable because of not just the poor displays of Great Britain overall, the fact that clearly the RFL need to sell tickets to this series against Australia. Forget the World Cup at the moment, that's going to be massive anyway, and people would have supported that, but I think in the interim they need to get bodies to test matches against Australia. It's a big income generator, and I think there was a feeling that the public had turned against Wayne Bennett, that even if it isn't for rugby related issues, for all the things that you've said, they're not buying tickets because they didn't want Wayne Bennett to be coach of the team that they were supporting. Now I think it's a commercial decision as much as it's a rugby decision. I think somebody at the RFL has said we need to...
Well, hold on. Is it a rugby decision? Because Kevin Sinfield's gone today, and reading between the lines, he's quit because his recommendation hasn't been followed.
I think you can look at it one of two ways. You can either say now is the time if you're going to have a fresh start to make a fresh start because you're 2 years out from a World Cup, or you say we spent the last 4 or 5 years building something with a squad of players. Admittedly, some of them played out of position, but they know the style that they're going to play. They know what's expected of them, and now you're sort of starting that again. That could be dangerous if you seriously do want to win the World Cup. not going to disagree with you about players playing out of position, but I think we make too much of that. I think the issue is if there's too many of them playing out of position, but every international team that has been successful has had somebody who's playing out of position.
One, maybe two.
Yeah, but
and generally due to injury or, you know.
Yeah, but that's it, 1 or 2 playing out of position, but there was, you can count 4 or 5, couldn't you?
When, you know, when you see the way Johnny Lomax played this week, you wonder why his position has changed at international level, because he clearly has reached a standard
Did he put himself on the back foot? Because I'll go back to this, you know, when he said there's no good back rowers in England. Well, some of them play in the NRL now, and they're you know, the likes of Bateman.
Yeah,
you know,
I think part of the problem is that you know what you're going to get with Wayne Bennett, and if you decide 2 or 3 years down the line that you don't like what you've got, that's partly your fault for appointing him in the first place. You know he's not going to be media friendly. Nothing you say is going to make him media friendly. He's not going to be a warming individual to outsiders. He has this philosophy of how he's going to play, and he's not going to be told that English players are any better than.
Yeah, but did he disrespect Super League? He doesn't know Super League. Whatever you dress it up, he doesn't know the competition.
I just think, again,
and he don't care. Where's Tommy Makinson come from? Well, he's been here for about 8 years, mate.
The question that we don't know because we weren't part of the camp was: did he listen to the advice he was given by people who do follow Super League, or did he ignore it because that's the kind of character?
We got told, right, when they had selection that all these people around him write down what you think the thing is. And my understanding is he looked at it, threw it in the bin, and went, right, this is.
And if he did, then that's why he isn't the coach anymore. Having said that, his coaching record at the moment is he took Souths to within 80 minutes of a grand final with a team that was in transition, so he can still do a job. I think the other thing about him as well is that, and I know they wouldn't they, will be the answer to this, but every player you speak to, even off the record, about what, you know, what influence did Wayne Bennett have on you, most of them
I disagree
really.
I disagree with this.
Oh, I think they do. I
disagree with that.
Well,
after that first series, I can tell you half a dozen of them didn't want what to do with him.
Well, we won't know because we weren't there, but I think the majority.
He clearly is a great coach. I'm being the other way. He's clearly a great coach. He has been a great coach.
He inspires.
He got found out of the nines by picking people that should have been nowhere near that squad.
Well, the fact is,
and even the players themselves. Ryan also said, "Why am I doing in this squad?"
Was the mistake that he shouldn't have been? The England coach should not have been the Great Britain coach.
Yeah, well, then is that a penny pinching thing? And has he been chucked under a bus? But.
And I think going back to Kevin Sinfield, his recommendation was that Wayne Bennett stayed on, and then as soon as it became apparent that he wasn't going to be staying on, that's why he resigned his position. The issue that, and I think Rich might confirm this, Rich and I were very privileged and fortunate to be at the Wheelchair Awards on Friday night.
Oh yeah.
And they talk about the England pathway and the work that has been done, particularly by Kevin Sinfield in the position he's resigned from, has elevated the women's game and the wheelchair game.
Yeah.
And the men's game now has structures underneath the full England team where there are more games being played by under-16s, academy. The pathway is clearer. And I think that kind of work that has been lost by Kevin Sinfield resigning.
Well, there's a problem then that Kevin shouldn't have done the review of the tour, because he is, 100%. However you dress it up, 100%. He is guilty by association, isn't he? He's part of the tour. You know, the Hanley decision, take it. Why not? Surely as Leeds director of rugby, whatever it is, he goes, hang on. He's been to Papua New Guinea before. He doesn't need to come. He knows what it's all about. Don't bother. If he's not playing, he's not coming.
And if you're going to ask him to do the review in his role as director of rugby, you have to take on board the recommendations. But you don't ask him to do it because he's part of the process. But I'm just hoping that his resignation doesn't have a fallout outside of
I completely agree with that. I really
who
do
they
agree
play and you know, because I think you'll know better than I will. There was a lot of progress being made at various levels under that overall banner of England performance.
I think that would be my biggest fear with Kev stepping down, because he's great with all aspects of the game, and he genuinely, from what I've interacted with him, genuinely believes in every single, you know, the academy structure, the wheelchair, the PDRL, the LDRL, the women's massively, you know, and he played a real big part in the growth of the women's game internationally for the, you know, and having the England performance squad and then the Knights performance squad that have started up now. He's got that started.
Going to PNG, he was really keen on the women having a cultural experience as much as a playing experience.
Yeah, and then, you know, being whole part of that growth, and that's the worrying thing. Don't get me wrong, rugby's going in a great speed for women, but are you going to get somebody in that position that cares as much about the other alternatives apart from? Because let's be fair, the focus for rugby is always the men's, and I totally get that with the, you know, the financial backing and the investment in it. But that aside, we need somebody that still sees the bigger picture.
But is there therefore have two jobs gone into one by accident?
Because Shaun
if
Wane
he's
is full
doing
time,
that,
isn't he?
well,
So,
no, but if Kevin is doing that job and he's building up and he's clearly done a great job, why is he then hands-on involved in the team? It's almost like, well, hang on, it's like his role at Leeds.
Yeah.
Under, is he the coach or is he not the coach?
Well, it's why he shouldn't have done the report. Your exact reason why he shouldn't have done the report is because he, you know,
it's an unclear rule. You know, it's an unclear.
And then who writes the report?
Well,
you show independence.
I mean,
yeah, but if you need to be in the, so you've been in camp, because you know the things that go on in camp and the decisions made, the discussions, the team talks, things that nobody else sees apart from, you know, inside that camp.
What is all right? Then what? Let's be fair. When we saw the team, we all went, "We only picked two wingers. We've got about 8 halfbacks. This is not going to end well." We all said that when he picked the team.
And I
so
think
is that not?
The problem was that was a trial for England. That's let me see some players who I might need if we have.
But that's
which
disrespecting
destroys the great
match.
But I don't blame the coach for that. I blame.
Why?
Because I think that if it's sold to him as you can be involved in Great Britain as well because it will give you the chance to see other players for England, that is automatically disrespecting the role because again we went to the.
Here's one for you. If Regan Grace had been English, do you think he'd have gone on that tour?
I think he probably had more chance of going on that tour. Yeah, but also even in the run on Friday night, which was I have to say the wheelchair awards was one of the most uplifting things I've been to, and that is purely because the atmosphere in the room was genuinely one of we're all in this together. There was still a feeling that it was great that Scotland and Wales were part of that evening and they all gave their own awards, but it was mainly an England evening and there's no funding that goes to Scotland and Wales. It's all self-generated as it is with the men's team and the women's team, and I think that's the danger. The RFL has as big a responsibility internationally as it does for Wales and Scotland. That's how it's structured. But everything is focused on England, and we've got to get away from that.
It was lovely on Friday night to see back together, as if, you know, people who've been through family breakups will know this feeling when a father who's gone away comes back, reunited with his son. Kevin and Brian on the stage there handing out the awards. It was lovely. You love to see it, as they say on social media.
I heard Brian had a pop at.
It was brilliant. Can't quote it. Can't quote it. Can't say it. Can't say it. Can't say it.
Well, because we don't have bleep.
No, we haven't got bleep. No. He said he was at Headingley the week before because we saw him there for the Super League launch.
We did. I asked him about Leeds. He got a bit spiky, didn't he? To be fair.
He said, and I saw Gary Hetherington there. We know what Gary Hetherington is, and he thought in his mind, there's the blank that sacked me.
Yeah.
But he said it much funnier and with a swear word in there. You can pick which one you want.
He also said when I chose to resign from Leeds before.
Which was
for those that knew, it was funny.
Fair enough.
But it was really great. I mean, Andy Gregory was there supporting. He wants to be an ambassador for the wheelchair game. It was a really good night, and we crowned the first wheelchair golden boot.
Yeah.
Which was Jack Brown of Halifax.
Yeah. Very good. Did you get a chat with him, Rich?
Yes, it's on the it's on Facebook,
YouTube,
it's on Twitter, it's everywhere. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Congratulations to him then.
Now I don't know whether Shaun Wane, as part of his role as a full-time England coach, is going to take on board some of this wheelchair and.
But why should he?
Yeah.
His role is
because
head coach.
I don't want to lose.
But then that's your performance director.
Yeah, this is where the two jobs.
This is the thing with.
Don't tell me Wayne Bennett.
No, but
knew
Wayne Bennett wasn't full time.
Yeah.
No, but when you say about Wayne Bennett not being a social media, not being a people person, that's not his job. I love the fact that Wayne Bennett didn't like the media side of things. Brilliant. It's not his job.
But you've got to have somebody who promotes the national team.
So like take Jimmy Lowes for instance. He's coached for years. He coaches Union now. Doesn't like the thing. So the director of rugby or the assistant coach does the interviews because he just says no. Because his job is to do the coaching. And that's all he's there for. He doesn't care about. He'll review the game if he has to with his team, and they will then pass that on. But Your job is to coach the team and get the ultimate goal.
Is the problem, and this is why maybe Shaun Wane's full time, is that actually Shaun Wane in his spare time might go watch some players in Super League.
Well, you would hope.
So therefore, it's actually Shaun.
Be sure on the
We need you to work Thursday, Friday because we need you to go to a game and watch some of these players.
I'm hoping that he may still have a more overarching involvement, like you just said, because I don't know if the RFL will replace Kevin Sinfield.
Well, I think that's a separate argument, and I wonder if Kevin the player has made the decision to step down today, because Kevin the player will see Wayne Bennett as a brilliant coach and think, I'd love to play for this guy. I can see why all the players are learning off him. I can see what's happening here. But Kevin is an administrator now, not a player. No. And he's got to make that decision and say, well, actually, Wayne, we're not taking Ash Hanley halfway around the world not to play. That is a crap. We're not doing it. And has he got? I just say the guts to stand up to him. I still look at Kevin as a player. He looks like he could play. I reckon he could play if you give him a shirt. Yeah, exactly. But and it comes down to, in any other walk of life, does Kevin Sinfield get that job he's got at Leeds? I think he does.
I think it'd be interesting as well on a sort of side issue now. Does Danny Ward and Ian Watson, do they stay involved? Do you think? Because again, Shaun Wane said today he hasn't made any decisions on his backroom stuff.
Well, they're great writing coaches.
But I would hope they still remain involved. I hope we haven't just thrown all of the baby out with the bathwater. I can understand why Shaun Wane is a good appointment on a number of levels. I don't really buy into this. It's because he's English. I think that Wayne Bennett was part of the 2008 New Zealand team that won the World Cup. They didn't say, I'm sorry you can't come in the dressing room because you're not a Kiwi. I think if you're the best person for the job, I'm not bothered what nationality you are. You cannot.
When he's coaching New Zealand, mate, he's watching the players every week, all of them.
Wayne Bennett had a passion for England to be successful. And I think all of it, if you focus solely on it's great because Shaun Wane happens to be an Englishman, I think you're missing the point. I think we've got highly tuned athletes playing at the very top level. And a coach at that level, whether he's Australian...
As Scully said, I'm going to jump in here. As Scully said, if you'd have offered Wayne Bennett the Australian job, he'd have walked out on England like that.
I don't know, he's an internationalist.
He would have done.
He wants England to be successful. He's passionate.
Does he, or does he want Wayne Bennett to be successful?
Well, there'll be an element of that as well, but I think if you speak to him about how he got involved in Rugby League in the first place, it was listening to test matches on the radio on his farm, and he wants there to be as many nations at that top table providing top class.
So why is he not speaking to the media and telling us how great international Rugby League is?
He doesn't do speaking to the media, does he? Which Ellery Hanley didn't when he was in charge. And again, I think
he's not killing it to be a great international.
I think that is a fault of the administration when you pick people who are not media friendly if you want to sell tickets.
Well, should he not have been told? We're going back into... I'm not bothered, I'm glad he's gone. For the record, I'm glad he's gone. Great coach. I think he's slightly past his best, if I'm brutally honest. The Nine showed that, and the Great Britain was a disgrace, and he should have been sacked for that.
But then we need to remember that he was, first and foremost, an England coach, not a GB coach.
Yeah, but he was a GB coach, so wasn't he?
But I think the mistake is making him the GB.
So if GB forms again, or is Shaun Wayne going to be the GB coach as well?
Well, I guarantee if he is, he'll show more respect.
You've got to kind of look at it at two different angles, haven't you? Because as an England coach,
he did a decent job. Yeah, he did a decent job.
As a GB coach, he didn't, and you got to separate the two before you, because you can't. We're just umbrellaing it at the minute, and I'm glad Shaun Wane's got it that great, but as an England coach, he wasn't as bad as he was as a GB coach. So the question I would say is to the RFL, what's going to happen when GB form again?
We don't know if there is a GB.
Exactly.
Britain was only there to sell shirts.
And also,
so we've got
he still had the same group of players that just didn't perform for him.
Did he though? If you look at the New Zealand Test series beforehand, there's a few extra, and then he played them in position, and therefore they were successful. God forbid that would actually happen. And it's the GB thing. We have to take away that it was a shambles. It didn't go to plan. Poor decisions were made. It failed. But as an England coach, he was all right. There you go, mind the story.
No, that's good. It's good. No problem. Absolutely no problem at all.
Someone's just tweeted. Well, Sid's retweeted a tweet. Shaun Wane looks like Mark Francois, the idiot MP. So that's
Sid, I'm going to tell him you said that. Yeah. In fact, he'll know you've said that.
I'm giving you a address.
He'll know you've said that. Like he knew when I called his team bullies and he pulled me up on it the week after.
I hope he's got Scott's number back so he can get him involved with the England setup.
Yeah.
That's all he wants.